Hello and welcome to a special leadership series we're running here on People, Politics and Planet. I'm your host, Joanne Roberts. I'm also interim leader of the Green Party of Canada. Now, as many of you know, the Green Party is in the midst of a leadership contest right now. 9 people are seeking the leadership, which was left vacant when Elizabeth May stepped down in November after 14 years as leader. She has stayed on, fortunately, as an MP and as our parliamentary leader. Here on People, Politics and Planet, we're doing interviews with each of the contestants so you can get to know them better. And today I'm having a conversation with Dr. Amita Kuttner. They are the youngest contestant on the ballot, and they spent part of the 2019 election campaign successfully defending their PhD in astrophysics. They ran in the riding of Burnaby North Seymour. And during that campaign, Amita came out publicly as non-binary and pansexual. The 3 pillars of Amita's run for leadership are justice, credibility, and readiness. Welcome, Amita.
Thank you so much, and it's great to see you.
It's nice to see you too. We were just figuring out, I'm on the North Shore of Prince Edward Island, and you're on Lasqueti Island. We're definitely coast to coast on this podcast.
Absolutely, almost as far away as we can get in that direction.
Now, I mentioned in the introduction that you're the youngest contestant, and that wasn't meant to be ageist. It was that you seem to be really resonating with young members, bringing forward a platform that they're really connecting with. What do you think the Green Party can learn from your campaign?
Well, I think that, first of all, we are attracting a lot of young people to the campaign, and we're having a lot of fun, and I hope that the people that are on my campaign are satisfied and happy to be there. And we're trying to share the responsibility and have everybody be at the table very equally. And I think that's important. What we're trying to do is be the type of party that we would want to be a part of. And so I think that's why we're all here. And sure, it has a little bit to do with platform and the issues that are probably most at the forefront of the minds of young people across the country. But at the same time, I think it has more to do with confronting the sides of politics and the parts of politics that we dislike, and talking honestly about the problems that exist there and how we're going to confront them. And really, I guess it's radical honesty, and also making sure that we're fostering that sense of belonging for everybody that shows up, and giving every single person the respect and dignity that they deserve.
You've talked a lot also about safe spaces within our party. And I personally feel that has been good for us. Growing's never easy, but I feel that has helped the party. And I'm grateful for that. Do you think we're making progress?
Yes, I do. I'm very happy about it. And it's a long road. And I think with all conversations about inclusion, the thing to keep in mind is that you're never done. It's always a process. So any step you take makes a big difference. And what I think is that, I'm here in the Green Party because I believe it's the only movement that can actually transform our country in a positive way and bring us back to representation. And therefore, all the people that are here mean very, very well. And it's just a matter of getting on the same page, understanding one another, and giving that safe space and that sense of belonging to every person.
What motivated you to run for leadership? I mean, we've had lots of conversations when you decided to run to be a member of parliament. Why leadership? Why now?
It's multifaceted for sure. Part of it was that my goal in life is to have as much impact as possible. Because after years of spending my time with my head stuck in space thinking about black holes, that I looked back at my lovely home planet and saw that we are in a really tough place, and we're risking throwing away the great potential that we have here because of greed. And it was important to open my mind and my heart to looking at how much we let each other suffer. And so I could do nothing but do all I possibly could to change that, to put us in a course to living here in a more beautiful, more robust way where we can really flourish. And so for that impact, that drives everything. And this is an opportunity to bring that possibility to life. and beyond that, it wasn't an easy decision for sure to decide to run. It's, as you know, it's a huge responsibility and commitment. So it was a long thought process, but it was urged on by a large group of people that said, "You're what we want." And in a sense, we've been waiting for you. We want we want a scientist in charge of the party. We want someone young, and we want somebody who speaks from, a unique perspective, and, it has to do with compassion and empathy as well. So in a sense, I'm already a representative, and it's a great honor.
Yeah, you are indeed. Let's try and learn a little bit more about you. When you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I'm an astrophysicist.
Well, you've achieved that dream then.
Yeah, I think a couple different things, and I was always fascinated by nature and by the world, and that's what drove me, I think, as a very little kid. It was all about curiosity, and it was also about kind of nonviolence, not wanting to harm anything, but learn about it. And I spent time as an only child in the forest. And as I got a little older, it was kind of just like, well, I want to learn about some of the deep mysteries. And by the time I was 8 or 9, I had decided it was going to be space and astrophysics.
So then who were the people who shaped your view of the world?
A number of different people, but largely, I think it was my mother. I spent so much time with her discussing the complications of human society, but also, and the confusion that comes up for anybody trying to figure out why exactly we live our lives the way we do. And also a number of people in the kind of philosophy and spiritual community that my parents were a part of, which was based in yoga. So there was lots of conversation about, greater perspective and stuff, and the universe. But for sure, it was my mother who gave me my connection to nature, because she was she was green, and she was very much eco-conscious to the nth degree.
I'm asking all candidates this question about how does your family, and that is however you choose to define family, so those who are closest to you, how do they feel about this choice you've made? Because one thing that you learned as a contestant and a candidate, and I certainly have learned, it affects more than just the individual. How do they feel about your decision to run?
Good, fine. I mean,
Okay.
there are not very many people that I actually have as family. So you're very right. People that I define as family, and but to some extent, I think biological family often feel like they have the right to tell you that you're wrong about your decisions more than family that you've chosen. So I don't have too many biological
You don't have
family
any of those.
tell me that I'm wrong. My dad, when I first decided to run for parliament, was just kind of like, "This is ridiculous. You're going to get corrupted," which I found kind of insulting. But it's not a right livelihood going into politics, and I have managed to since convince him that this is for the right reasons and to create positive change, and so that's good. And my partner has been completely supportive the whole time, because we're driven by wanting to see similar things in the world. And so those as well who've been like family to me have just been supportive and kind.
So let's talk now about goals for the party. As leader, how do you propose to increase the number of seats that the party can win?
Well, a couple of things, but I think it comes down to a balanced approach. So I would like to see us grow over a couple election cycles to be one of the top couple parties in the country. And I think that's completely doable by returning to who we are, that concept of ecological wisdom, of finding that sustainable way of life that connects us to our ecosystems, the way that we are and we have ceased to notice, but also in that we do so in a way that we take care of each other when we build community. And by walking that walk, by doing community-based grassroots outreach and showing that this is the type of life and world that we want, and we want to include everybody in that vision, I think we will grow a lot, because people are looking for something else. Politics doesn't work for, well, I would say most people, because
Yeah.
it doesn't achieve anything. And yet there's such amazing possibility. And if we can share that in that open, bridge building way, we'll get somewhere. And on the other side, so that's the cross country wide, paying attention to every region, developing a national messaging strategy that doesn't alienate anyone, but also communicating back and forth with regions. How can we help tailor our concept, our policies to fit exactly for your community in a way that really feels self-consistent and organic? And the other side is saying, okay, where do we have the best potential? Where can we nudge a little bit so we can get over the top? And I see that as focusing on areas that have growth, rapid growth. So of course, I have a math background, so I think rate of change, where is it that we're rising quickly? And if we invest in that, we'll be able to see that growth just, exponentiate, basically.
Yeah, right. So when you started this campaign, and I can remember even before it was official, so it was pre-COVID, talking to people who were encouraging you to step forward for leadership. We weren't in a pandemic, but of course, very quickly after you made that announcement, the pandemic became a reality. How has that changed not only how you campaign, because I think it's taught us a lot about campaigning, but how's the current crisis changed your plans?
It was very interesting to announce that, the pandemic was there. I announced March 9th, and March 11th was the
Wow.
declaration of the global pandemic. So it was, or a couple days, maybe the 12th or something. So that was how that went. And it has changed a lot because of the communities that I'm connected to and the people that were within the structure of my campaign. A lot of them were already in such precarious situations that they lost the ability to keep working on this project because they don't have the time, the space, and the energy, because they're struggling to survive now. And that is a reflection of how the pandemic has brought up all the inequities and how precarious so much of all of our lives is, and how, building that resilience and self-sufficiency is going to be an important thing going forward, facing any crisis. Mm-hmm. And I was very much looking forward to traveling across the country and meeting not just people, but the places themselves.
Right.
And so that I'm sad about, but I know there will be another opportunity for it. But now that we're on Zoom, I think I'm actually getting to meet people that I might not have had the opportunity to, because we wouldn't have made it to all the places. So there's a beauty in that. But it's definitely a struggle when the majority of your community, was in the position to maybe help out a little bit, whether with time or with a little bit of money. And now they need both of those things, the other direction. And politics is a solution to a lot of our problems, but it's also one of the first things to drop off what people will spend time on.
Have we learned something? Do we hope we've learned a way to build back better from this? Do you feel that this can be a bit of a reset for us in this country?
Here, yes. I'm worried about some of our friends globally, yes. But I think for us, for sure. And it's that lesson about what truly is necessary in our lives, what we hold the most dear. And some of those, may have been obvious and others not. How much we appreciate spending time with the people that we love, as well as, oh yeah, wait, I just need food, water, housing, and health. It's the basic.
Those are kind of important. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to go outside and, those things. So we have an opportunity for sure. It's not a given that we will build back right or well or in a positive direction. But we have that opportunity because everybody's paying attention to it. And I think we've also seen how much can happen if we all work together at something.
You've had a chance, because I know there have been a number of debates and chances for all the 9 contestants to come together. At this point, everyone is hoping to be the successful leader. But at what point might you decide not to continue? And if you did, what would you be looking for in who you would support going forward?
I'm not sure.
Everyone this question. I'm not.
Yes, I'm sure you are. I'm not entirely sure. It's a tough road. And I think there are moments that I think, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through it? But the thing is I'm not doing it for myself at all. So the fact that I'm here is for the people that want me to be here and that I represent. And if there were ever to be a moment that I would stop or step away, it would be up to them, not up to me. So it's if we don't feel like we have the momentum or something, but they would feel like there was another option for what they wanted represented, because otherwise it's gone entirely. So it has to be replaced in some capacity, I think. But that, again, it's not up to me. It's up to those that I am here for. What am I looking for? Leadership is very hard to define. And I think that we do not overall or generally know exactly what we're looking for. But what I'm looking for is somebody who's doing it because they wish to serve.
Mm.
And they are putting the well-being of others ahead of their own goals, intentions, ideas.
Mm.
I'm looking for somebody who will approach the job with an open mind, an open heart, and perhaps a quick wit.
That does help in politics, doesn't it? Another element in this country at this time is having a leader who speaks both official languages, both French and English. I know you speak French. How are you feeling? Are you feeling comfortable in both languages at this point?
It depends on the day. So I grew up learning French. I was a student of French immersion, and I've always loved language. It's been a part of me. I chose to go to French immersion myself after leaving Waldorf.
Yeah.
When I was like 5. So it was always a personal thing, and I kept up with it. But it depends on how my mind is doing, and switching between languages can be a bit challenging sometimes. But when I'm in my French brain, it's great, and it's easy. So all I'm doing is I'm trying to work on my vocabulary, so I have all the words necessary to talk about policy. But I generally feel comfortable.
Oh, that's great. Now, final question, if chosen leader, how important would it be for you to seek the first possible opportunity to win a seat in the House of Commons? In other words, would you be willing to go wherever in the country it would possibly allow you to win a seat in, say, a by-election?
I would be excited to have the opportunity to run anywhere in the country. I think it would be really a lot of fun, but I don't think that that's the only factor in such decisions. And if there is somebody who's a really strong local candidate who has a chance to win, I don't believe that I should supersede that, but I think that that's not a decision that should be up to me entirely. And that comes down to us having that commitment to local representation. And if there's somebody who's going to naturally be able to do a better job than me, then they should have that opportunity.
But it would be a discussion. So you see your approach as being pretty collaborative, just as it is with your team now.
Yes, absolutely. I am very anti-authoritarian and committed to breaking up hierarchies and working as a team and coming to consensus.
Amita, it has been great to have a chance to spend this time with you. All the best. I look forward to the discussions that are yet to come. And yeah, thank you for taking time to be with us.
Thank you so much.
Amita Kuttner is one of 9 contestants running to be leader of the Green Party of Canada. They are the youngest, as I said at the beginning, contestants on the ballot. Amita spent part of their 2019 election campaign defending their PhD in astrophysics. The 3 pillars of Amita's run for leadership are justice, credibility, and readiness. We will be interviewing all 9 contestants in this leadership race in both English and French. Daniel Green, our deputy leader, will be doing the French interviews. I'm Joanne Roberts. Thanks for listening to People, Politics, and Planet. It is produced by the Green Party of Canada with technical assistance from JP Davidson from Pop Up Podcasting.